Renault has officially confirmed its exit as an F1 engine supplier at the end of the 2025 season, closing the chapter on the French manufacturer's storied history in the sport. This decision, spearheaded by Renault Group CEO Luca follows months of speculation about the company's future in F1. With this move, Renault is shifting its focus away from engine development, instead channeling resources into advanced automotive technology for its road cars and other racing programs. The decision comes amid increasing pressure to cut costs in Formula One, particularly as the sport gears up for sweeping regulatory changes in 2026. As a part of this transition, Alpine will partner with Mercedes from 2026, aligning perfectly with the debut of the next-generation power units. This marks a significant change in Renault's motorsport strategy. However, the decision hasn't been without its share of controversy. Staff at Viry-Châtillon have pushed back, arguing that the shutdown is both premature and unnecessary. And that leads us to the burning question: will this new partnership be the game-changer Alpine so desperately needs? And does this crack open the door for Andretti to finally make his move? This shake-up doesn't just jolt Alpine, it's a seismic shift for Renault as they step away from their racing roots to focus on other ventures. With this unexpected power void, opportunities are now ripe for the taking, and the rumour mill is spinning furiously. The name that keeps popping up? Andretti. They might be ready to swoop in and take charge. Could this be the takeover that breathes new life into the team? The pieces seem to be aligning for a bold move that could alter the racing landscape. Meanwhile, Mercedes seems ready to fill Alpine's engine gap starting in 2026. What's in it for Mercedes? Well, this partnership could open up fresh strategic avenues, potentially giving Alpine the boost it needs to climb up the grid. Deals like this are the ones that keep everyone in the paddock buzzing, sparking endless debates and speculation. Saying that Renault's exit is a huge blow to Formula One might be stretching it. Since the V6 turbo era began in 2014, Renault has struggled to keep up with powerhouses like Mercedes, Ferrari, and Honda. The decline became glaringly obvious in 2024 when they dropped to P9 in the Constructors' Championship after a mass exodus of engineers following the first race. Clearly, the team's issues ran deep long before they decided to pull the plug on engine manufacturing. But don't think Alpine is just sitting around. With Flavio Briatore's return and Oliver Oakes stepping in as team principal, they're on a fresh mission. They've even hinted quite openly that they could become a customer team by 2026. Briatore himself has admitted this possibility, signalling a major shift in Alpine's strategy. Now, Briatore isn't a stranger to controversy. He was at the heart of the Crashgate scandal back in 2008, yet his comeback seems to have injected fresh energy into Alpine, lifting morale and reviving a sense of purpose among the workers. Briatore recently addressed the idea of Alpine becoming a customer team as early as 2025. However, he made it clear that this option is off the table for now since Alpine is locked into Renault engines for that season. He laid it out bluntly. The problem with Alpine was that there was no management. At one point, they chose a few wrong managers. The list of the wrong ones was quite long, and we have no list of the good ones. Speaking on the engine situation, Briatore added, "The decision about the engine was already made by Renault's management, and for me, it's fine. Our chairman decided it was fine. This was settled before I even joined the team." Drawing comparisons, Briatore pointed to McLaren. Look at McLaren and other teams. McLaren is not doing everything. If you want to win, you need the best of everything that's available. His mission is crystal clear: to put Alpine in a position to win. Anything is possible to ensure all crucial parts are competitive, he emphasized. Whether this approach will reignite Alpine's fortunes is a question only the upcoming seasons will answer. This is where Mercedes might step in and seize a golden opportunity. Remember, Mercedes is losing a customer team in Aston Martin starting in 2026, as they've committed to a partnership with Honda. This leaves Mercedes without a buyer for their engines and potentially some parts like gearboxes. It's more than just losing a client, it's a hit to their revenue stream. Funds that could have gone into building a championship-winning car. Toto Wolff has shown clear interest in the possibility of Alpine becoming Mercedes' new customer team. Alpine's current driver lineup might not offer Mercedes a place to nurture their young talent as they did with Williams, but that's not a deal breaker. From a financial standpoint, this partnership could be a no-brainer for Mercedes. Wolff touched on this when he said, "Alpine's situation is complicated because we like the idea of replacing Aston Martin with another team due to the sheer learning we get." He added, "We're structured in such a way that having more power units in the field accelerates some developments or improves reliability." Where do things stand now? According to Wolff, it's still early days, with talks not advancing beyond casual conversations. "We are open-minded, that's what we have told them," he stated. negotiated. It's clear that Mercedes sees value in the partnership, not just financially, but in terms of technical insights that come with having an extra customer team. This move could very well be the kind of behind-the-scenes maneuver that reshapes grid dynamics in the future. This scenario also opens the door for Andretti. The American team has been pushing hard to join the F1 grid as the 11th team, and Renault's 2026 engine exit is probably the best news Michael Andretti could hope for. While F1's CEO Stefano Domenicali insists that Renault's departure doesn't spell trouble for the sport, team principals like Fred Vasseur and James Vowles argue otherwise. They believe more engine manufacturers mean more data for teams, ultimately steering the sport in a positive direction. Andretti has long been eyeing an opportunity like this, a chance to negotiate a buyout with a team on shaky ground. However, Briatore has been crystal clear. Alpine is not up for sale. The team sees potential in becoming a customer outfit and wants to test the waters under these new conditions before even considering a buyout. It does highlight a larger issue though. Andretti seems to be left out in the cold while less prepared teams remain on the grid. For many, it feels like Andretti is getting an unfair shake given the solid project they've put forward. But let's clear one thing up. Just because Alpine might switch to a different engine supplier doesn't mean they'll be out of contention. Success is about having the right people in the right roles, and we've seen this play out before. Take McLaren, for instance. They committed to using Mercedes engines, but their real breakthrough came from hiring the right talent to identify and address their weaknesses. Now they're leading the Constructors' Championship, with Red Bull and Ferrari playing catch-up. This shows that with the right moves, Alpine could find itself back in the mix, even as a customer team. Briatore has always been candid about Alpine's competitiveness, admitting they wouldn't achieve much until 2026. That was before Renault's bombshell about pulling the plug on their F1 project. Now, the stakes have changed. With Mercedes engines potentially under their hood, Alpine could be on a much faster track to podiums than anyone initially thought. With the right people in place and a top-tier engine, Alpine has every reason to aim high and challenge the frontrunners. So, what do you think? Is Alpine making the right call by transitioning to a customer team with Mercedes engines? Could this be the turning point they need? And does this crack open the door for Andretti to finally make his move? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.